Yeah, 100%. I think it's a good transition point to start talking about like our first series of episodes, the Pit, and I think it does a really good job of portraying our day to day into a 40-minute, 50-minute episode. And so I guess and I'll start by answering my own questions, like why are we as healthcare professionals intrigued by the Pit? Why do we enjoy it? And for me, I enjoy it, but I'll be honest, I feel a little anxious when I watch it, right? I watch a crazy case come in or them, handling a psych patient. I'm like, oh man, like I feel like I'm at work. But then that also is a testament to how realistic the show is if I feel anxious about it and I feel like, oh man, this is like so realistic. It is realistic. And I think that's why it resonates with people in healthcare, where a lot of times, you'll watch other medical shows or healthcare in like public media and you're like, oh man, they got that wrong, or that's not how it really is. And we're so excited by how they get like our off clinical things right, whether it's like burnout or what it's like to be a medical student or a resident and what that life is like, and being kind of going up the pecking order. Or then even like when they're intubating someone, they call like a medication dosage. You're like, wow, that's exactly the right dosage. Like they got every single thing right. And so for me, that's the thing I love about it. What about you?
Kind of the same thing, man. It's funny you mentioned that. It kind of like triggers you a little bit because I watched like the first episode and then I kind of stopped. I was like, I don't need to watch it. It reminds me too much of work. I see this every day. I don't want to watch it. But as the season kept going on and people kept talking about it, I'm like, well, maybe I'll check it out. So I actually checked it out and I just binge watched the last like 11 episodes, over like, a few days. And I was like, yo, that was really good, man. That was good stuff because, again, I grew up watching like a lot of medical shows. Like I used to love House.
Yeah.
I love Scrubs. But, a couple other shows outside of those, they focus more on like the drama outside of medicine, where I thought the Pit has drama, but it incorporated the drama into like medical cases. A lot of things we can discuss on, about the two kids trying to make their dad not DNR, did not agree to, the overdose. There's a lot of stuff that was drama, but it was drama with medicine. I kind of like that part about it. But yeah, it was triggering. It was like, yeah, I don't need to see this stuff. I've seen it before. I've seen it in residency, but so many people told me to finish it, and I'm glad I finished it.
Yeah. And it's there's other medical shows that, like you said, they'll get maybe like 10% of it right, 20% of it right. They get it all right. And it's crazy how they do it over a period of a shift. And it really shows you how many things happen in the emergency department, how many different perspectives there are, and the social work perspective, the family emotional tolls it takes, the straight up medicine that you have to do when someone comes in with a GSW. Like there's just so many aspects to it, and you don't need all that relationship drama or things like that. Like the ER and the medicine itself is enough.
Yeah, it's a 12-hour shift, and sometimes you don't end the 12 hour. It goes past the 12 hours. Our days, rarely do we end on time. So
yeah. What and I don't know the answer to this. Why do you think it resonated with people outside of medicine? Like I get why it resonated with us, because we're like, oh yeah, this is our lives, and people get to see it. And like for my parents, I'm like, watch the show. Like it's hard for me to tell you what a day in the ER is like, but this is similar to that. Why do you think it resonated with people outside of medicine?
Because there was a lot of excitement in medicine as far as things that compelled you to it, as far as some of the cases they were seeing, some of the things they were doing, some of the medical cases as well. Because a lot of people, they think it's all trauma nonstop. They did have some trauma in the show, but you also have some medical things going on, and you got this. See how people in the medical field feel about it, like the long waits, the waiting room, people out there. I'm pretty sure that resonated with a few people. The waiting room's full. People have been there for 6 or 8 hours. They can't figure out what's going on. And so it probably related to some of the experiences they also had being an emergency room patient as well. They probably remember like, hey, this is how I was when I went to the emergency department. It reminds me of that as well from a patient point of view.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because just like we see some of the things that are maybe triggering to us, I'm sure patients see things that are triggering to them. Like waiting in the ER for hours is not fun and very frustrating. And making that decision to, take your parent off of life support or a ventilator, that's difficult. And unless you've been in those shoes, it's difficult to portray that emotion. And I guess a lot of people saw the things that that happens to them.
Yeah. Even bringing your loved one to the hospital for something minor and it turns into something major, to deal with those things. And so I think from a patient point of view, it kind of probably hit on with a lot of people. And it's actually, medicine's interesting. Our jobs are very interesting. What we do on a day-to-day is interesting. And so people, even if you're not a medical provider or you're not in the medical field, you see that and you're like, oh, that's some interesting things that they do and they deal with every day.
Yeah.